It always begins with a feeling, not a text message, not a rumor, not a screenshot, just that tiny shift inside the gut that says something isn't right anymore. That's exactly what Shayla had been battling for weeks. The sense that Iman's heart was drifting in a direction she wasn't prepared for. At first, she blamed stress, blamed distance, blamed the normal ups and downs of a relationship. But deep inside, the reality was knocking at her conscience long before she ever caught a single piece of evidence. And when the truth finally exploded in her face, it didn't feel like a discovery. It felt like confirmation. Because the moment she learned about Iman's secret closeness with Delicia, a connection forming right under her nose, she finally understood every ignored instinct, every restless night, every unanswered question that she convinced herself to swallow. Nothing in her life prepared her for that level of betrayal. Not from the man she loved, and definitely not from the girl she trusted like a sister. The story wasn't something that unfolded in one dramatic scene. It simmered quietly. It was in the late texts that weren't returned. The plans Iman suddenly forgot to include Shayla in. The way Delicia showed up a little too happy when he was around. The way she dressed differently. The way she smiled at jokes that weren't funny to anyone else. You could call it intuition, you could call it jealousy, but she saw it. The shift. Still, love makes people blind to the obvious. Shayla wanted to believe the best. She wanted to trust her friend. She wanted to trust her man. But truth has a terrible way of revealing itself, especially when people think their secret is too clever to get caught. The breaking point arrived like a slap disguised as a whisper. A simple notification. A harmless ping. One message popping up on a screen left face down on the table. Shayla wasn't snooping. The universe simply delivered the truth to her. Her eyes landed on the words, "You coming over? Same time?" Followed by a red heart emoji from Delicia. And the timestamp didn't lie. They'd been talking daily. That moment felt like the air left the room. Her hands turned cold. Her throat tightened. The world around her shrunk into silence except for one deafening thought. They played her. The betrayal was so personal, so sharp, that she couldn't even form tears at first. She just stared at the message, replaying months of conversations, laughs, confessions, and girl-to-girl promises that now tasted like poison. When she finally confronted Iman, his reaction told the full story before his mouth formed a single excuse. He blinked too long. He took too deep a breath. He stuttered once, and in those exact human glitches, Shayla saw that he wasn't caught off guard. He was caught unprepared. He tried to explain, tried to soften the blow with honesty delivered too late. He claimed it wasn't intentional, that the connection just happened, that they didn't want feelings, but feelings showed up anyway. Shayla almost laughed because the irony was cruel. Delicia had comforted her through Iman-related fights while secretly becoming the reason for the next one. And that truth hit harder than the breakup itself. The part that destroyed Shayla's spirit wasn't the hidden relationship. It was the timeline. This wasn't a rebound. This wasn't two lonely hearts crashing into each other after she and Iman ended. No. This emotional affair started while Shayla and Iman were still together, while she was sacrificing, while she was fighting to be understood. It began when she was crying on Delicia's shoulder, too naive to realize that same shoulder smelled faintly of Iman's cologne. There's nothing uglier than discovering your heartbreak had a witness who said nothing, because she was benefiting from the cracks. The friendship, shattered. The love, poisoned. The respect, gone without a funeral. Shayla didn't scream. She didn't throw things. She didn't beg. She simply looked at Iman with a disappointment so heavy it made him look away. Because anger is loud, but devastation? That kind consumes everything quietly. Pulling dignity over the wound like a blanket no one else can see, she walked out, not because she had finally stopped caring, but because she cared so much that staying would have buried her alive. Later that night, she confronted Delicia. No yelling, no dramatic slap, just the kind of calm that makes the guilty sweat bullets. Delicia attempted excuses. "I didn't mean for it to happen. It was confusing. I didn't want to hurt you. But every word sounded like a cliché ripped from a cheap betrayal movie. Shayla reminded her of the countless conversations they had about Iman, the secrets, the fears, the dreams, intimacy shared in sisterhood, used against her in silence. That betrayal wasn't a mistake. It was premeditated selfishness dressed in fake loyalty. Social circles erupted instantly. The news spread like gasoline spilled near fire. People picked sides. Some whispered that maybe Iman and Delicia always had a spark. Others called it the ultimate snake move. Memes flooded group chats. Receipts circulated. The drama became bigger than just the three of them. It became a public autopsy of a relationship that didn't deserve to die like that. Shayla, who once walked confidently in love, was suddenly the girl everybody pitied. But here's the twist most people ignore. Shayla didn't crumble. She didn't let the heartbreak make her small. Sometimes getting betrayed is the exact kind of clarity a person needs. She realized she was loving people who didn't clap when she healed, only when she hurt. She realized she was filling cups that were already poured into each other behind her back. And with that realization came a transformation. Not loud, not performative, but powerful. She stopped asking why. She stopped replaying the story. She stopped giving attention to people who proved they didn't deserve access to her heart. Meanwhile, the honeymoon thrill between Iman and Delicia didn't last. Secrets are fun only until daylight exposes every flaw. Now they had to answer questions they didn't want to ask. Was it love or just adrenaline? Was it real or just convenient? Could they trust each other knowing how easily they broke trust before? Every stolen moment they once enjoyed now carried guilt, and guilt is an enemy that never sleeps. Suddenly, what felt exciting in secrecy became suffocating in reality. People always forget that when you steal a heart that isn't free, you inherit the mess that comes with it. Iman began missing the comfort he once took for granted. Delicia realized that winning a man isn't the same as keeping a man. And while they dealt with consequences, Shayla began winning the one battle they never expected: healing. She started loving herself again. She stopped walking into rooms wondering if she was enough. She finally recognized she always was.